I just want to tell you, this is BaaD Radio. We do this for you on the socials every Thursday afternoon, and then it plays back at 11 to 1 p.m. on Sundays, right here on News Radio WFLA Orlando. If you are not in the area, just look us up on the iHeartRadio app and follow WFLA Orlando. All right, let's start the show, kiddos. There we go. Push this button here.
You're listening to Radio
Mama made a mistake.
I was like, just kidding.
Shut up.
You're listening to Radio Cosmos.
All night long.
Bravo! My compliments, little lady.
Come on, shout.
Break for 30 seconds.
You are now listening to BaaD Radio.
Hello and welcome to BaaD Radio. BaaD stands for Business at a Distance. This is a show about local businesses and business networking. We are here in the News Radio WFLA studios from 11 a.m. till 1 p.m. And I am your host, Angela Smerito. And in studio with me, we have our producer, Melissa Fox.
Hi. Whoa, watch out for that train.
Is it going to wreck?
No. Maybe the show. Train wreck, no.
That's what I was talking about.
Oh, I get there faster. Sorry.
Okay. Next up, we have Melissa Jacob with Striking Brand.
Hello.
So Melissa is our co-host as well as our videographer, so she wears many hats. And if you go to baadradio.com, you'll get to see all the previous episodes. And then also, if you go to strikingbrand.com, you get to see all of Melissa's other work because she is a videographer as well as a photographer. And so I am so excited to announce our guest. Please join me in welcoming the lovely Dr. Jessica Mitchell.
Hey, y'all.
Hello. She's got that y'all
Hey,
going
y'all.
there. Okay, we call her Dr. J in the world of networking, and she is the owner of she is the owner of a chiropractor. It's not an office; it's a mobile office. Foundation Wellness. Did I get all that right?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I got to fix my volume. There we go. Did I sound a little bit too light there for a minute? Because I felt like I just couldn't hear it. But anyways,
You're good.
So Foundation Wellness.
Oh, my God. You want me to start over? Because that was horrible. What are you doing? Is my volume okay? We got to do this over. I'm so sorry. But,
I was okay with that.
You were okay with that?
Yeah, can you just cut that?
Oh, no.
I don't
Nope.
want to do that all over again.
Yep.
If we cut it, it won't sync probably.
Yep. You have to
It's a
start
whole
it
thing.
over, or Melissa will have she'll be texting me all damn.
You know how I am.
I was
Such
okay.
a bother.
I was okay with just fixing my volume and going on, but okay.
Your volume still seems a little low. I don't know why. Test me. Check.
See, like, I'm okay with, like, doing that because it sounds all right to me.
Bring your volume down in your headphones because you are mumbly.
Is
Check.
that better?
Yeah, there you go.
'Cause I couldn't hear myself at all before. All right.
Can you not hear yourself? You okay?
It's all right now,
Okay.
but initially it wasn't. I couldn't hear anything.
Oh, my goodness.
Is
All right.
everybody else good?
Are we
Can
set?
y'all hear me?
I can hear you good.
I think I can hear you.
All right, we're going to do
All
that
right.
again.
Take two. I love it.
You're listening to Radio Cosmos.
All night long.
Bravo! My compliments, little lady.
Come on, shout.
Break for 30 seconds.
You are now listening to BaaD Radio.
Hello and welcome to BaaD Radio. BaaD stands for Business at a Distance. This is a show about local businesses and business networking. We are here in the News Radio WFLA studios from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. And I am your host, Angela Smerito. And in studio with me, we have our producer, Melissa Fox.
Yeah, Bubba. It is not a train wreck, trust me.
Okay, I like that. And next up, we have Melissa Jacob with Striking Brand.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Welcome. Melissa is our co-host as well as our videographer. And if you go to baadradio.com, that's BAAD radio.com, you can see all of the previous episodes of the show there. And then if you want to see Melissa's other work, you go to strikingbrand.com because she is a videographer as well as a photographer. And so I am so excited to introduce our guest. Please join me in welcoming the lovely Dr. Jessica Mitchell.
Hey, y'all.
Hello.
Great to be here. So excited.
We call her Dr. J in our world of networking, and she is the owner of Foundation Wellness, which is a mobile chiropractor office. So what was some of the other things that you said to me earlier? And I was like, I'm going to let you say that.
Yes. So I also do functional nutrition. So that's helping the body heal from the inside out naturally without using drugs and surgery, but using supplements, food, etc., allowing the body to heal itself, which is incredible.
Okay. We're definitely going to talk about all of that.
Love it.
Right there. But first, we're going to talk about the networking news. And so that is brought to you by Symphonic CBD, which is a branch of Live Your Best Life. And they are both advocates for Green Compass Global. Green Compass products are USDA, organic, lab-tested, non-GMO, made in the USA, and cruelty-free CBD products. And they are key to making calmness a habit. They also have CBD products for our fur babies. To get more information, go to symphonic-cbd.com. That's symphonic-cbd.com. Actually, what are your thoughts on CBD? You know Terry Mandigo.
Oh, yeah, love her. She is fantastic. I actually love CBD. I use it personally. There are over, I'm going to get nerdy here. Talk nerdy to me. There are over 100 different CBD receptors in the body. So when you get a full spectrum hemp CBD product, it just hits all of those things real nice-like.
Yeah, well, Green Compass is, in my opinion, one of the best.
Can you go overboard on CBD?
Like OD on it?
Not
Make it
OD,
higher,
but
right?
like, you know.
I mean, you can get so chill that you can't get off the couch.
Okay. All right. I was just thinking for the pups because the furry friends thing. I was like, what if I give them too much and I don't know? And
Well,
They'll
Roxy,
just sleep really well.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. No, for the
Not bad.
fireworks, I gave Roxy 2, and she just snuggled up next to me and crashed. But that's so much better because she was having a heart attack. I was so worried about her. So, but what I want to talk about with the networking news is actually Dr. J, because when I started Business at a Distance, Dr. J was one of our original founding members. And do you remember how you found Business at a Distance to begin with? I mean, you were obviously invited by somebody, maybe Karen Kelly?
Probably Karen Kelly,
Okay.
yes, who is fantastic. And when I found out about it, I was like, oh, this is perfect. We're in the middle of a global pandemic.
It was like in the first couple weeks.
Oh, yes. And you just, I mean, it's all that word of mouth. We all know that word of mouth advertising is the best. And good people just found good people and it blew up.
But what happened was so I was fairly new to the networking. Like I was not in BNI. I was part of Next Level Networking, but I did create Business at a Distance when COVID happened, and that's what the show is based off of. But when I was talking to people, Dr. Jessica Mitchell's name came up over and over and over and over again. It was always Dr. J, Dr. J, and I'm like, I have got to meet this woman because and then I would see. Invited by Jessica Mitchell, because like I can see in like on the back end of everything in the Facebook group, I can see how long they've been there, how active they've been. And so like between you and Karen Kelly and Karen Bream, the three of you, like when the Facebook group first launched, you three were key in growing that. But what I was curious about, and as far as the networking news is, you obviously are very seasoned in the world of networking. Think about talking to somebody that's just getting started in business. What would be your recommendations and where to start in the networking world?
Great question. Well, obviously, BaaD would be the first place.
Actually, I wasn't fishing for that, but okay,
No,
I'll take it.
But I would say find a place where you can get plugged in and there's some sort of accountability and where you feel like those people are your vibe, right? So there's a lot of groups out there. So how do you find the best one for you?
That's a good question.
And to me, you've got to visit a couple. I love Chambers. I actually started off in Chambers.
Well, I was gonna ask you about that. So you have had success in chamber networking groups.
Networking groups, yes. Chambers, I never really got a lot of referrals from. There's no accountability there. And so I feel like finding your tribe and getting in something like BNI or in BaaD where we really are a community because you know the people in there really is key. I love Chambers. It's great for meeting people, but for me, it didn't have the ROI that I was hoping for.
Right. Actually, she just made me realize that she's the one who started calling it BaaD.
Oh, are you?
Yeah, I think you're the first person that it said. And I want to say, was it the BaaDiversary? I can't remember.
Yes.
But I do believe that you're the first
Yes.
one that actually said the BaaD fam. And I was like, And then I was like, okay, I like it. It had to grow on me a little bit because it's like bad. I'm like, okay. But you have to say it with that accent. You have to go bad as opposed to bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a keeper. But I've had the same experience with chambers. I think it just depends on who it is in the chamber, I guess.
You've
was
done
part,
well with the Oviedo Chamber.
Yeah, the Oviedo Winter Springs Chamber I was part of for a while, and I had
Nice.
2 like consistent like referrals from them. So I think it has to do with whoever you're meeting. But
Well, I
the
think
accountability, you're right, with BNI, it's a
Oh,
lot
yeah.
different.
a lot of people don't like that. A lot
I
of people
know,
are
but
like,
that's-
"Oh, I don't want to do it. It's too much commitment." And I'm
But
like,
that's where
"Oh, I
you
agree."
make the changes.
No, I totally
Correct.
agree with the
Yeah.
accountability because it
Mhm.
weeds out the people that don't really have their heart really isn't there. But back to the chambers. So when you started in chambers, but you still made some good connections there. So as a new person starting out, would you still recommend them just visiting at least?
Absolutely. Chambers, especially the larger ones, are a great place to start because you just get access to so many people. And then from there, again, you find your group and you find out, I would tell people, ask other people that you like and you see that they're very active and they're referring and they're intentional. I would ask them what they are involved in.
Right.
Because if you're involved and you like them, chances are you're going to like what they're doing.
I did know about the chambers too, and again, I'm not dogging chambers. I think that they're great. Like as a salesperson joining the Seminole Chamber, it helped me get so many appointments, and not so much from going to the meeting, but joining and then going through the their not their Facebook page, but their website and seeing their members. And then reaching out to them, being saying, "Hi, I'm Angela. I just joined the Seminole, and can I stop by and introduce myself?" And I got so many yeses, and I would stop by, but not with trying to sell them anything. So that introduce myself, and I did actually make some relationships and close some business that way. Have I ever gone to a chamber meeting and walked out with like 15 business cards and closed business? Nah. So I guess it all depends on how you work it.
Well, and I think the key is everybody wants to sell your thing, but I think the key is to try to help somebody, and then by definition, they're going to want to give things back to you.
So you talked about chambers. Is there anything other? Because like I said, I'm kind of I focus on like social media groups and then BNI. What else is out there? I don't even know. So
That is a great question. I try to find different events that give back. So I was just at a Josh event, and that is to provide care packages to soldiers who are overseas.
Oh, that's
but
very
find
cool.
things that you're passionate about, and that really
Is
helps.
that through the Hero Strong program?
I
Because I know that there was a Hero Strong that was doing the same thing.
Possibly?
Yeah. Well, because we have a show that's on WFLA too. It's called Boots to Business with Daniel Rabowski,
Ooh.
and it's a show about transitioning from being in the military to being into business.
Oh, I love that.
And he has a lot of connections, Daniel does, for getting the care packages over. Because the people from the Hero Strong couldn't find the addresses to send it to. You know what I mean? They couldn't.
Oh, my goodness.
He needed to connect the wires.
Okay, got it.
So it worked out really good. So I'll have to get that
Please.
Joshy information. Okay, so that was a really good networking event.
Yep, that was a fantastic event. I find there's other entrepreneur events. So if you go on meetup.com, if you go on facebookgroups.com, .com, oh geez Louise. But if you go on different Facebook groups, you'll find those connections.
I want to write all that stuff down. All right, so the music means we're going to break. And when we get back, we're going to jump in more with Dr. J. So stay tuned.
You're listening to BaaD Radio on News Radio WFLA Orlando.
Okay, so she's super loud, like blasting in my ear, and I'm not, but I'm just going to leave it alone.
That all sounds the same to me.
All sounds the same to me. Must have crap in your ear or something.
I can give you an ear adjustment.
You want an ear adjustment?
Actually, I legit do that.
That was money.
Head, shoulders, knees, and toes.
Head, shoulders, knees, and toes. Knees and toes.
Exactly.
All right, good. Okay, so the first segment is in the bag, kiddos.
Right.
Let me just finish doing what I'm doing here. We'll set up for the second segment, because otherwise I make mistakes.
And y'all, if I start talking too much, just give me a little.
No.
That's
No,
what you're
you're
here
the
for.
guest, you goofball.
That's what you're supposed to do.
If I talk too much, just shut. No.
The
we don't
problem
shut
is if you
up.
didn't talk.
Yeah.
That's
That
where
is-
we'd have the problem.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, stand by.
Welcome back to BaaD Radio, brought to you by Premier Couple Superstore, because a couple that plays together stays together.
And this portion of BaaD Radio is brought to you by Frogger's Grill and Bar. Are you ready for the ultimate sports experience? Look no further than Frogger's Grill and Bar. You've got your sports fix covered with Saturday and Sunday football, and catch all the action on tons of high-definition TVs while enjoying drink specials available all week long. Don't miss out on Frogger's amazing menu where everything is fresh, never frozen. Oviedo, Mount Dora, Apopka, and Altamont Springs. Frogger's, hopping with food and fun. I think I'm going to get you to start doing that last part with me, like how you do with Premiere.
Just tell me.
We have this little thing where it's
She'll
like
hear it.
we'll say it together and
Oh,
our
I love
voices
that.
like sync. I think we're like on that same, we have like that same bass note for our voice. I started watching the show the other day and I just looked at Tom and I'm like, I am so annoying.
No, you're
I'm like,
not.
I know. I was just like, I'm so annoying. I just want to turn it off.
With
but then,
what? Just
in
general? You're
general.
just hearing your own voice type thing? Okay, yeah.
Exactly.
Well, you're not.
What do you? I mean, do you know what I'm talking about when you
Oh,
hear
yeah.
your own voice?
Yeah.
You're like,
I'm always shocked. I'm like, why do I sound like a man? I'm like, I don't think I sound like a man. And then I hear myself, I'm like, hello.
where are you?
Really?
Where are you from?
Orlando.
Are you? So you're born and raised here?
Born and raised, true Floridian. I
Wow.
feel like they should follow me around with a camera and be like, let's watch the native Floridian. She's wearing sweatshirt and flip-flops. What's wrong with her?
In her natural habitat.
I'm a native Floridian, but I'm from the
Are you?
beach. I'm from Melbourne.
Ooh, nice area.
Yeah,
I'm
so
a
I came
Navy
here.
brat.
Huh, Navy,
Navy
rat.
brat.
Okay.
All right, that
We won't hold
works.
it against you.
Okay. I'm a transplant, so Ollie.
What state were you born in?
California.
Okay, she had to think about
I know,
it for
but
a
I
second.
moved too much. I lived in Georgia the longest, so I almost said Georgia. I was like, nope,
No,
I
wait, nope,
wasn't
that's a
born
lie.
there. Yeah, I don't want to lie on the radio.
That would be hard though to think about
Oh,
it,
gosh.
like moving around. I feel for you as far as like school goes and having to switch
Oh,
schools all the
It
time.
was fun, and when you're a kid, you're like more flexible. Like if I had to do it now, I'd probably be dying.
You're
but
like, nope, not gonna work.
yeah,
That's why traveling is nice.
temporary.
Right. I know I talked about a trip you took recently. But anyway, we're going to talk about business right now. So we're here with Dr. Jessica Mitchell, and we call her Dr. J. How did that come up, too? Who started calling you Dr. J? Or do you even remember?
It was kind of a compilation. So I grew up playing sports. Now the only place I run is the fridge. But, back then, and I played basketball. That was my favorite sport in high school. Go Eagles, Edgewater High School. And,
Love it.
and
Tom went to
so-
Colonial.
Oh, okay. Big rivals. Oh, yeah. So grew up playing basketball, and I always knew I was going to be a doctor ever since I was 2 years old. And then once
Really?
I became a doctor and I started seeing lots of kiddos and babies, Jessica or Mitchell was just a mouthful. So it just became Dr. J, like the original basketball player. I'm a little bit shorter, a little bit less tan, only slightly less famous, but only for now.
Only for now. Absolutely. I would love to see you play basketball. What were you?
So I was usually the shooting guard.
Uh-huh. I was point guard.
Oh,
That's what- that was
nice.
me.
I don't know what
Ah.
either of those positions mean.
The point
so that's
guard's the
where
one
I
that
am.
dribbles the ball down the court.
Got
And the
it.
shooting guard's on the side, and she passes it to me, and I shoot and make the baskets.
Awesome. So you guys are like a team effort.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
Cute. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, it was a good time, though. I played for Melbourne High School.
Oh,
But anyway,
nice.
so let's start all the way from the beginning. So you said you knew you wanted to be a doctor when you were two. That's pretty interesting, by the way. But so, and you're a chiropractor.
Yes,
now,
ma'am.
but I mean, do you, like to become a chiropractor, you have to have a doctorate?
Yes, ma'am. Great question.
Can you tell me about the whole education of that? Because that seems like being a doctor is some pretty heavy stuff there.
It's intense. So you have to go obviously all through, K through 12, and then get an undergrad degree, and then apply, get accepted to the doctorate program. And a chiropractic school is almost 4 years,
Okay.
nonstop. It's about 35 to 40 hours a week for 3.5 years straight.
Wow.
So it's really intense, but I absolutely ate it up. I'm a huge nerd, so it was incredible.
What made you decide to want to get into chiropractic, being a chiropractor, as versus like another branch of being a doctor?
Yep, it was God. That's the short answer.
I love it though.
Yep.
I mean, that's a true, honest answer.
It really was. I always thought that I would be a pediatrician in Africa. I wanted to be a medical missionary. And so that's what I thought I was going to do. Well, I got burnt out on pre-med bio. And so I was like, well, shucks, what do I do now? And I have a long and sordid past. So after undergrad, I became a neurodevelopmental therapist. So we did different brain-based therapies designed to heal and retrain the neural pathways.
But where did you do that at?
In Maitland, there was a school that started, and I just jumped in feet first in the deep end and got some training on brain gym, biometrics, neurofeedback, etc.
Wow.
It was incredible. And then from there, I actually became a paralegal. It's an interesting story,
Okay.
which was
I'm
amazing.
following.
It's all very impressive, though.
Oh, thank you. I've been blessed to have a lot of really fascinating experiences. So became a paralegal, and I was actually studying for the LSAT. My father is now retired, but he was a personal injury attorney. And so I was like, well, I might as well take over Dad's business and make more money. I always knew I would go back to school. I just didn't know what. And so I did that for a couple years, but I wasn't passionate about it. I really like making money, but I wasn't passionate about it. And so long story short, while I was working for an attorney, I ended up meeting a client who was seeing these other chiropractors, and I met them and I knew immediately, oh my gosh, this is what I'm supposed to do with my life. And because I'd been pre-med bio for 2 years in undergrad, I had all my prereqs except for one. So 6 months later, I was in chiropractic school. And then 4 years later, I started practicing.
Where did you go to school at? In Florida, too?
Palmer College of Chiropractic.
Okay.
And they have the original's in Iowa, but they have an extension campus in Port Orange.
Okay, so you got to stay in the state of Florida.
Yes, ma'am.
Have you ever traveled? I mean, I'm sure you traveled out of Florida, but I meant, have you ever lived out of the state?
For undergrad, I actually lived in Birmingham, Alabama.
Is that where you pick up y'alls?
Yes, ma'am. And then I actually took a year off between my sophomore and junior years of college, and I ended up being a missionary. That's another long story, but a missionary
Oh my God, I
in
love it.
Belize, Central America for a year, which was incredible.
A whole year?
A whole year.
Dang.
It was incredible.
That's
Was that
brave.
anything that like deterred you from like your thinking that you were going to be in Africa and doing like that experience? Sounds like it would kind of encourage or like deter
Deter.
you from you.
That's a great question. At that point, I kind of had given up Africa,
Okay.
but it encouraged me that I do love to travel and serve and give. So my eventual goal is actually to have independent contractors run my mobile concierge chiropractic practice. I'm working with a couple of entrepreneurs who retired at 27. And so one of my goals with working with them is to create passive income streams so that I can fund, I feel like I am called to develop a nonprofit that provides holistic health care
Love it.
to women and kids who are survivors of domestic violence and human trafficking.
I totally need to introduce you to Stephanie Bauman. Do you know Stephanie Bauman?
I don't think so.
It's One Heart, One Hope, One Heart or
Ooh.
One Hope.
Oh, I don't know.
She
but
was on the show recently, and I mean, do you know Stephanie Bauman, Melissa Fox?
Oh, yeah.
yeah. Is
Very
it,
well.
It's One Hope, right, or One
I
Heart?
think it's one
Anyway,
hope. Yeah.
she actually has a nonprofit, and that's what she totally focuses on: women, children,
Amazing.
domestic abuse, drug abuse, things like that. And she herself was, I mean, she was on the streets with
Yeah.
2 young children,
Wow.
and she told us that it's more dangerous at that time. It's more dangerous in the shelter for a woman and the 2 kids than it was out. So her
is
and another
shocking.
mom took their kids and just like roughed it on the streets because of like I guess there's
Whoa.
no policing inside. I don't mean it was just her story is amazing.
Wow.
She's so inspiring. You
I need
guys
to meet her.
need to meet for
Yes,
sure.
ma'am.
But yes, I think that may be like a good conduit to what you're talking about. So
Yes.
did you ever consider being a pediatrician?
I did actually. When I was in pre-med bio in undergrad, that's what I thought I was going to do. But like I said, got burnt out. And I realized now God's plan for me was never to be a medical doctor. I have lots of good friends that are, but my mission was to be a chiropractor because with that, I can see all sorts of different people where I feel like in medicine, you tend to specialize more. So it just enables me to help everybody, which is such a blessing.
Yeah, well, I definitely want to, like, when we get, we're going to go to break in a minute, but I'm just going to set this up is when we get back, I would really like to get your input on the medical profession, Western medicine versus the holistic approach. And because, like, for me personally, I just not having a good time with the whole Western medicine and how things are set up. I had such a fight with the freaking pharmacy before today.
Bless you.
And I'm just like, but I want the listeners to know that there's an alternative to going to the doctor,
yes.
being like rushed in 10 minutes and out again. And then that whole, there is alternatives. There is ways to make it affordable. So I'm expecting like 30-second music to turn on anytime now.
Yeah, we're not in healthcare. We're in sick care.
But yes, like I said, I myself feel very passionate about that. So when we get back, let's use the next segment to talk about how
Perfect.
there are some alternatives to just regular Western medicine. So stay tuned, and we're going to talk about that with Dr. J when we get back.
Want more information on networking? BaaD Radio.com. We'll be right back. You stay right there.
got a great voice, doesn't she? Oh yeah. It hurts my ears after a minute because of my glasses.
Oh, that makes sense.
Like I don't have to wear prescription glasses. I have to wear readers.
Oh,
and so,
that
but
makes sense.
I'm kind of in that in between where I'm going to have to get. I think they called them not bifocals, but progressives, maybe, or
Yes.
something like
Yep.
that.
Yep.
Because I'm at a point now where when I'm driving, I'm having a hard time seeing all my dashboard stuff. But if I can't wear these, because then I can't see the road.
Oh gosh.
That's the fun of
You
being
okay?
old.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry.
I was like, that's my my doctor thing. If I see something, I'm like, what happened?
Yeah, yeah.
All right, we're coming up on segment number 3. Everybody all right? Ready to rock?
Good to go.
Thumbs up.
Okay.
Welcome back to BaaD Radio, brought to you by Premier Couple Superstore, because a couple that plays together stays together.
And this portion of BaaD Radio is brought to you by Ground Up Property Services. With the changing seasons, now is a good time to get your irrigation system serviced, so call Ground Up Property Services today. Also, with hurricane season, it's a very good idea to ask Rick Hall with Ground Up about a water sensor so your lawn doesn't get too much water. And don't forget about the lawn painting service. If you are planning an outdoor event and you want to hide those brown spots in your lawn, call 407-468-4295. You can also get more information at groundupinc.net. And you did hear me right. A lawn painting service.
I know.
I was wondering.
It always makes me think of Alice in Wonderland. I know I've said
Yes,
that before.
Make it green.
No, he's one of our sponsors. This great guy, Rick Hall. He does irrigation systems, and yes, I've been trying to get him in BNI forever. But he actually has a system of painting spots on the lawn. So if you get like a nasty gram from your HOA, he can take care of it, and it's all natural. It doesn't hurt the the environment or anything like that. And I can't remember what he said, how long it lasts, but I know
It's a while though,
Yeah.
isn't it? Like, oh, he said in the summer it's like 2 weeks or something like that, but then in the winter it's
lasts
longer,
longer.
like 6 weeks or something like
Wow.
that.
Yeah. So
love
if
that.
you have if you're doing a photo shoot or
Yeah.
you have like a big party coming up and you've got like a couple spots that are like, you can call him and he'll come clean it up for you.
Yeah.
So,
But
but he's
something a photographer would like.
I know.
Yes, exactly.
and he's like the nicest guy ever.
Aw.
He was it last week that we had Rick? I can't remember, but we had him in for a full 2 hours,
It
and
was
you would
fun.
think that it would be like hard to talk about irrigation systems for 2 hours, but it was not. He's just a great
I
person
know.
to talk to.
And that was the second show that we've had him on for the full 2
I
hours.
know.
And so like 4 hours we
Wow.
talked about irrigation and had a good time.
Wow.
It's just amazing to me that this stuff is fascinating. I'm like,
Yeah.
so how far under does
Yeah.
the tubing go?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he's so nice too.
I
He's-
know.
yeah.
So before break, we started to talk a little bit about I wanted to get your input on the difference between Western medicine and kind of taking a more holistic approach, because I know that you guys, when I say you guys, I'm talking about you and Karen Kelly, and I even think Angelique and a couple other
Yes.
people are kind of have this group. Derek Brantley is one of them.
Correct.
That kind of bound together and you guys talk to each other about the holistic stuff but let's just what would you say the biggest difference is between, like I said, just regular traditional medicine and what you guys are supporting and doing?
Absolutely. Great question. Thank you for asking. I would say the biggest difference is that people more alternative wellness, which honestly was the original medicine. If you go back 1,000 years, that's all they had.
Yeah, true.
Is really we're trying to get to the root cause and give the body the resources it needs to heal itself naturally from the inside out. So finding the root cause. Now, there's a time for drugs and surgery, right? Like if I get my arm chopped off, don't adjust me and give me some herbs. Take me to the hospital and cauterize that stuff and sew it back on. So there's a time and a place. But I truly believe, and my colleagues and I do, that an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. So if we can get, and I know you've been on a huge health journey yourself.
Oh yeah, I mean,
And-
I can't even remember. It's been 3 or 4 years, but yeah, I mean, I went through a whole thing where I stopped drinking. I lost weight. I had to get some stuff in order, and but now it's like menopause. It's like, okay, this is super fun. What's next?
But wait, there's more.
But yes, taking care of the inside, like the gut, has
Yep.
been extremely important to me.
Absolutely. And I really think the team approach, my kind of one of my mottos in life is teamwork makes the dream work.
I love that phrase.
And so I grew up playing basketball, right? And so I really think that's a huge part of it is and this kind of goes back to networking, right? It's like, what's best for the other person, not what's best for me. So I will often refer out to a Karen Kelly, to an Angelique, to a Derek Brantley, to all of my teammates, because if I'm not the right person, or if I'm not the right person right now, then I will refer or I'll co-manage. Sometimes it's a combo deal number 5 where we need multiple people.
Well, I mean, you guys each have your different specialties. Like Angelique is really focused on treating the face and, doing all of that naturally without the Botox. She's been on the show before too.
She's great.
She has a very holistic and not causing trauma to the face and the skin. And then like I said, Derek's been in here, and I mean he's just a wealth of information. And then Karen's been on here as well too, and I'm just excited for her opening Mercy Wellness.
So proud.
But I mean, I can imagine you guys refer to each other often.
All the time.
Right.
Teamwork makes the dream work, like I said. And what I want to do is I tell people this that I meet, please call me. I give free 5-minute phone consultations.
Okay, that's
so
good to know.
call me if you have any health questions. It doesn't matter if it's the most off the wall thing. Likely I've heard of it, and if I haven't, I will research it. I will get back to you. And if I am not the right person, I will find you the right person. So I want to be people's go-to health guru.
That's so nice. When I keep saying Western medicine, I think maybe some people don't really know what I mean. How would you describe it the best? It's just the medical system. I mean, what is the right way to call it?
That is a great question. I would say it's a system focused on sick care versus health care.
Okay, I
so
like that.
it's fixing problems rather than preventing them. And there are great medical physicians. There are great facilities. So I'm not anti-Western medicine, but it's gotten to be very box-like, whereas like I said, I treat the person holistically, mind, body, and spirit. And I feel like if each of those is not in alignment, something's going to be off balance, right? You think of a 3-legged stool. If one of those legs is short, you're not going to be sitting pretty.
Right.
Whereas I feel like most Western medicine, they're just focused on their specialty. So let's say if it's a hormone issue. Well, if you don't fall inside their little box of what they know, then they're like, oh, it's all in your head, or they make you feel dumb, or
Oh
they
my God, I
refer you
know.
out. And it's awful. It really is a travesty.
Yeah. And I mean, I've talked to them about hormones, and it was just like,
Yep.
and it was like, I think they told me that it's, I got, what was
Aging
it?
isn't a disease. or
Aging isn't a
something like
disease that kind of like just gets
And, like,
suck it
it's-
up and deal with it.
Exactly.
Oh, I'm so sorry, girl. And that's just a lie. So what I like to tell the difference to my patients is there's a difference between common and normal. And these days there's so many aging issues. I'm putting that in air quotes since we're on the radio, you can't see that. There's so many quote unquote aging issues that we think of as normal now because they're common. So the example I'd like to give is if you were in a colony of lepers, you would think that leprosy was normal. But you and I sitting out here know that leprosy is not normal. It's just common where that person is.
Right.
So I tell people you should be healthy and happy for a long time. My parents are both 68. They just got back from a 2-week hiking trip in Banff, Canada, and then they went to Bryce Canyon, and they were gone for 10 days hiking miles every day, and they're on no medications.
Nice.
So, and that should be the norm. I believe that's how we're intended to live, but too many people, think that it's common to feel bad.
What are some of those things that you're saying that are probably more just common as opposed to like a normal?
Yeah, great question. So I would say the common things are heart disease, arthritis, bad skin, feeling tired and fatigued all the
Joints,
time.
arthritis.
Yes, joint pain, inflammation, getting chunky monkey in your older age. All of those things that I like my phrases.
Is that what we're calling it?
I was following your real like arthritis and then just throwing in. I'm like, is it
Yeah,
ice
that-
cream? I was thinking about.
You're like, oh, that sounds
Ben and
good.
Jerry's?
Ben and
Ben and
Jerry's.
Jerry's.
Hey, maybe we
yeah.
can get Ben and Jerry's to sponsor this.
What's happening? All right,
Do they have
got it.
organic?
That's funny. I like Chunky Monkey. It's good. It looks good on you.
Yeah, right?
All right. So where were we? So yes. So those are the commons,
Common
right?
things, but not brain fog. Not normal. Common, but not normal. You should be healthy, happy, alert, and active from the time you're born until the time you die. Now, a little slower.
And you can be.
Absolutely.
Because I think that a lot of times is that you get taught that you're just not supposed to be.
Right.
And so you're like, okay, then that's the way it works.
Yeah. And then you accept it and you don't search for more.
And those are all things that you help and you can treat.
Yes, ma'am.
Nice.
Well, the biggest frustration thing that I have in it, and I mean, I know we're going to go to break, but I'll start it, is that for me, the way that my brain was trained is that this is what you do. You go, you get a job, you get insurance. Your insurance covers this, this, and this. And so when you have a problem, you go to the doctor. The doctor takes the insurance. They put you on the drugs that your insurance covers. And then that's the way that it is supposed to work. And I think that well, you know what? We're going to continue to talk about that. So that's the way that I think. And so when we get back, we're going to talk a little bit about that's the way I think and then what it really is like. So stay tuned. And if that made sense at all, then just we'll work it out. So stay tuned for more BaaD Radio.
Angela Smarito right there, folks. Just wanted to identify you. Melissa Jacob in the house, and I can't remember our guest's name.
Dr. J.
Jessica.
Thanks, Dr. J. We'll be right back.
Dr. J.
I'm so sorry. I was thinking about Kate or whatever it was. Yeah, I don't know. Even had it back.
You do look like a Kate, too.
Mhm.
I can see it.
Kate Middleton.
Hey,
you
we
can
can
call me that
wish.
anytime.
We can wish. Let me take that out of there.
I did the sponsors out of order again. So I'm going to do Premiere right now.
Okay. It's fine. It's more if the ones that are combined
Mhm.
need to be the same.
That's okay.
These segments go so quick.
They
I
do.
know.
Oh my gosh,
Can
you
you
guys like
believe
2
that-
minutes. And I'm like,
You're on your
we
last
just started
one.
I know. I need to do 2 hours next time.
I know. It's
Absolutely.
'cause
No,
when
we
we-
will.
Yeah, when we have like two separate guests, then it feels like it's super flies. 'Cause
Yeah.
I'm used to the 2-hour ones. I'm like, you just got here.
Yeah.
Okay, hang on 1 second.
Oh, you're good.
10 minutes.
This will be our last segment. There'll be a minute worth of music so that we can get our credentials out there so people can get a hold of us. So when you hear that music, that means it's time to give out your
Contact
website,
information.
contact info. Of course, Melissa takes the longest.
And then
You know how I am.
And then, so we'll talk about this a little bit, but then what I really want to do is dedicate the rest of that to all the things that you provide, how
Okay.
people get in touch with you. Because, like I said, we kind of went on this little different thing,
the
but
tangents.
really the point is to promote your business.
Perfect.
And
Appreciate it.
That was terrifying.
That was weird.
That was
Oh,
hard.
you didn't do that on purpose?
No, just happened. Stand by.
Welcome back to BaaD Radio, brought to you by Premier Couple Superstore, because a couple that plays together stays together.
Welcome back, and this portion of the show is brought to you by Premier Couple Superstore. Hey guys, it's time to head over to Premier Couple Superstore and surprise your sweetheart with that sexy bedroom outfit. Premier Couple Superstore has got a huge selection of lingerie, shoes, toys, games, love oils, and a ton of great gifts. With Premier Couple Superstore, you won't pay those high prices because you go directly to the source. 5009 South OBT or shop online at premiercouples.net, because a couple that plays together stays together.
Oh, yeah.
We got that down, don't we? I love it.
Love it. We need to get
We've
in on that.
done it a few times.
Premier Couple Superstore loves it too, so there you
oh,
go.
good.
Mhm.
I've been in a couple times.
I know
Actually,
it's
just once.
Ooh la la.
I know
Yeah,
it's over on
it's kinda
OBT.
cool.
It is cool. It's like because most of the time people buy that stuff online, but it's
Yeah.
actually kind of cool to go in there and see it, all the different
Check
fun
your
stuff,
ID.
and then you can like really determine that you're not the only person that's looking at that stuff.
And the people were really nice. They
Yeah.
didn't make you feel weird at all.
Not
So
at
they're-
all.
They're nice old ladies.
Aw.
This will look good on you, darling.
Oh, they were so sweet.
Oh, so before we went to break, we talked about like what my idea of what you're supposed to do when you need to go to the doctor. And so I really want to talk to Dr. Jessica Mitchell about there's the job, insurance, doctor, prescriptions, coverage, all that other stuff. But I mean, that doesn't apply to you at all. So how does somebody come to you and what do they need to do?
Great question.
And then let's talk about the cost, because I'm just going to let's just address
I love
it.
it. Yeah, address the elephant in the room. I am all about that. So typically people find me through word of mouth. I am very blessed to have amazing patients and amazing people that I know that when people are having those random health issues, like, I don't know, call Dr. J. So it's social media. I have a lot of people that tag me on social media for different health concerns, and then just sharing my contact information. So the easiest way is for people just to to call me or text me, and I'll set a free 5-minute phone consult with them.
Right. So, but I meant, okay, so if I'm feeling achy and I'm going to make an appointment, you think I should just be like, hey, Dr. J, I've got this going on. What would you recommend?
Oh, great question. Yes. So again, during that consult, I'll make sure that I'm the right person for them. And then we set up the initial visit. So I have 2 different appointment types. The first one is chiropractic only. And then the second one is functional nutrition. Now, I can't help myself. I do a little bit of nutrition with my chiropractic patients anyway, because again, I'm treating people mind, body, and spirit. But let's just go one by one. So the chiropractic visit, I spend about an hour with my new patients. And that, as you guys know, you've been to the doctor multiple times, that's a lot more than most physicians spend.
I think they have 10 minutes.
Max. I mean, that's if you got a lot of time. It's usually like a 2-minute.
Is it 2 minute in and out?
It is.
They got to make their quota.
Exactly. They get paid we all get paid per patient, but because insurance reimbursement is getting less and less, they have to see more and more. And they're great doctors. They just have to make a living. So I slow the whole process down so I can actually listen to my patients. So the initial visit for chiropractic includes a comprehensive review of health history. I mean, I'm going back to like childhood of what are those physical traumas that you experience. Then we talk about the thoughts, the emotional traumas that you've experienced, because if you're holding stress, anxiety, depression in your body, that's going to affect your spine and your nervous system. You're going to be really tight or your head's going to be down, and that all affects you.
That's interesting.
It's fascinating. And then we talk about the toxins. So those are the terrible T's, traumas, thoughts, and toxins. And then toxins, the food that we eat, the air that we breathe, the drinks that we drink, the drugs that we take, things we're exposed to on and in our environment, and things we put on and in our bodies. So once we get all 3 of those, those stool legs at balance, then I have a really good idea. From that comprehensive review of health history, I move into the analysis and review of spinal imaging. So x-rays or MRIs on anyone over 14. And then we move into orthopedic and neurologic exams, just further objective evidence, so I know exactly what's going on with my patient.
Okay.
And then after that, assuming there's no contraindications, then we move into the adjustment.
So you go through all that before you start snapping and doing all of that jazz?
Yes, ma'am. And again, it's important for me that I know exactly what's going on before I start manipulating the body.
That makes sense. So in order to do that, though, do you have to send them to like a different place to get the imaging done?
Yes, ma'am. So there's a couple of imaging centers around town that I partner with that allow me access to their online portal, and they will upload them within minutes of my patient getting their x-rays. So they can even get x-rays, like let's say they take a half a day off of work. They can go get their x-rays first thing in the morning, and I can be to them by mid-morning, and it's already there, and I'm good to go.
Oh, that's good to know, right? Because that seemed like that would be the part that would be hard to...
Right, because you have another appointment and you have to, all that.
All right, that's super good to know.
And they're usually in and out in 30 minutes with the places that I partner with, which is
and
great.
You just write a prescription
Yes, ma'am.
for them, and then they take it. Okay,
Yep.
that's awesome.
Absolutely.
Now, is that portion sometimes covered by insurance?
Okay, so I am out of network with health insurance companies because I don't want them to tell me how to practice. I want to be able to treat my patients how you need to be treated personally and individually.
Love that. Freaking love it, because that's the biggest problem.
But I do have options, right? Like, because almost everyone has health insurance now. So I can charge an HSA or an FSA card. Most people have one of those. I would say about 80% of my population does.
Okay.
And so they already have money on it anyway. So it's anyway money. Let's just use it for your health. And if they don't have that, not a problem. I can also provide a super bill that they can submit to their insurance company for potential reimbursement of out-of-network benefits. And if neither of those is an option, no problem. You know the pricing up front, so you can budget for it.
Yeah, I think that's great. But I think what my question was is like for the scans.
Oh, sorry. Yes.
Yeah.
Yep,
She's like all of that, and then she's like, oh yeah, fine. Yes.
Yeah, just that. Yeah, just send them out. Super easy, breezy, lemon squeezy.
Okay, so then you go to the adjustment part of it.
Yes, ma'am.
And what all does that entail? Because like I'm nervous with chiropractor because of all that snapping thing. I've seen like people's neck get adjusted before, and I'm like, oh no. What is that popping sound?
That is a great question. So that popping sound is simply gas being released from the joints. So I tell the kiddos that I see lots of babies and lots of kiddos, it's just a spinal fart, and they think it's hilarious.
Oh, like I'm a kid because I'm laughing like one.
Or they call it popcorn. They say, Dr. J, I got popcorn in my neck.
Aww.
And it's the cutest thing ever.
What is the youngest person you've ever adjusted?
Several hours old.
That's amazing.
Yes. So one of my girlfriends had a baby, and baby was having trouble latching, and I was up there within hours.
Did the baby latch after you?
Absolutely.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
I know, it's like magic.
Uh-huh.
It
Do you
is.
work with like doulas
Yes.
oh my gosh.
Love doulas and midwives, birthing centers, OBGYNs, nurse midwives. Love them.
Okay, so I have a list of people now that I can introduce you to because I
Amazing.
know a couple doulas and I love them.
Perfect.
Mhm.
Yeah,
That would be awesome.
absolutely.
Okay, so then that's the chiropractor part.
Yep,
So
chiropractic portion.
talk to me a little bit about the wellness part. So you said nutrition. Now
Yes.
you can write prescriptions. So if somebody's having gut issues and they do need something, like you're a doctor, you can do that.
Mhm. I can write blood work scripts, and I also can recommend supplements. However, I am not allowed under my particular license and I can write obviously for imaging and things like that.
Right.
I am not allowed to write prescriptions for drugs. So that's where like a Karen Kelly would come in as a nurse practitioner. She's allowed to write a prescription for drugs.
That's really interesting. So do you focus on gut health as well?
I do. Absolutely. Everything is related to the gut. 80% of our immune system comes from our gut. So if I don't fix that, and a lot of people start, well, I'm on a probiotic. This is really cool, y'all. The digestion starts in the stomach. So if you don't have the proper amount of hydrochloric acid and digestive enzymes, you're always going to have gut issues. So I want you guys to do this right now. Lean back a little bit in your chair, and then I want you to come to the xiphoid process, which is where your ribs meet in the center. Come out about 1.5 inches on your rib cage. Push up towards the same shoulder. If it's tender on the left side, left means you need hydrochloric acid. I remember the L for hydrochloric. If it's tender on the right side, that means you need digestive enzymes. So that's a great little check for yourself. You go home and do it on your husbands, your significant others, your kids. Be like, lay down.
What happens
My
if it doesn't
dogs.
hurt on either? I mean, I'm
Well,
good.
then you're doing awesome that
All
way.
right.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Are you okay over there?
Yeah, I know. I'm like, okay, so digestive enzymes, got it. Mental
We'll
note.
make notes
We'll
of the
talk
whole
later.
show. Well, this has just been an amazing show. We are going to have you on for 2 hours next
Yes,
time.
ma'am.
So give everybody all of your contact information.
Absolutely. So best way to get a hold of me is text or call, which is my work cell 321-800-8191. Facebook is Dr. Jessica L. Mitchell, chiropractor. And then Instagram is Chiro Abundant, CHIRO Abundant.
Nice.
All right, and you can find me at melissa@strikingbrand.com.
And I am Angela, and we're going to be back with another full hour of BaaD Radio, so stay tuned.
You want more information about BaaD Radio? Huh? Do you? All right, stay tuned. Oh, or just go to the website, baadradio.com. That's BaaD radio.com. And like Angela said, we'll be right back after the top of the hour news on News Radio WFLA, Orlando. Yay!
That's
Great
how I
job.
do all the time on the phone.
Otherwise, people are like, wait, what?
Like very slow, very clean.
No, I love it.
Because I know I talk fast too. And so I'm like, if it sounds like a turtle through molasses to me, I know it's probably normal speed for everyone else.
Oh, well, that was wonderful.
Thank
I do wish
y'all.
that we could talk for
Can
longer.
Can I get a picture with you, like a little selfie with y'all?
Yay!
Oh,
You probably have a better phone than I do.
I'll do it, and I'll send it to you. Sure. Here.
Are you right-handed? You want to get on this side of you?
Yeah. The lighting might not work.
Oh, shucks. Okay.
Actually, it should be okay. I'll be able to fix it. I'm gonna steal her that.
Yep.
Actually, let's get in front of
Oh,
it.
there you go. Yeah.
The WFOA. There we go.
Sorry. No, you're good. Awesome. Yeah, you're always so good at editing. I'm like, I don't know. I got weird things growing out of my face. It's fine.
That's fine. Post it.
Fine.
Oh, all right. I'm gonna go walk. I'll walk out with you, and I'll get our other guest.
Thank you all so much. This was absolutely fantastic. And seriously, let me know when you have a 2-hour spot. Like, I would love to come back.